Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 64th episode of the Triboro Podcast. I'm 65th.
Yeah,
God damn it, the one time I don't ask.
exactly. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, because we're boofing this, yeah.
Yes.
The 65th episode of the Triboro Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Alonso, joined by Nicholas O'Brien. How are we doing?
Hello. I'm doing well. I'm
doing
chilling.
well. Great. So if you cannot tell by us doing Tuesday's episode, we will be doing our free agency predictions, plans, whatever you want to call it.
Preview, overview, forecast, analysis.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other words.
Yeah.
That thing.
But this is the Yankees episode. So before we get started on the free agents themselves, the people that we're going into the year with or going into free agency without. Juan Soto, free agent, everyone
Shocker.
knows they extended the qualifying offer to him. In the amount of time it took me to say that, he declined it. There's no way he's gonna even be competitive. Gleyber Torres, they did not extend the qualifying offer to, which was a little shocking. Alex Verdugo, Clay Holmes, Tommy Canley, Jonathan Loaizaga, Tim Hill. They exercised Anthony Rizzo's buyout, and then they exercised Luke Weaver's club option for $2.5 million. Believe that's it. But yeah, the Gleyber news,
Shocked. I am completely shocked. I thought it was a no-brainer, honestly. Maybe they're doing him a solid because this infield market is awful, especially at second base. So maybe they're doing him a solid.
I feel like there's one middle infielder in Willy Adames, and even
You're
then
right,
he's
yeah.
shortstop. But
Yeah, if you look at second baseman, and this includes everyone who can
Jorge
possibly.
Polanco.
If you go by projected WAR for 2025, yeah, it's Torres at 2.9. The second closest is Jorge Polanco at 1.2. It's not even
Did you see what
close.
Spot Rack's projected contract for him was?
Torres or Polanco?
Torres.
No,
Based on market value, $320,
320. Jesus,
$7 a year.
no way,
No
way. But
I thought that was horrible.
but no, I thought because the qualifying offer is a tick over 21 a year, so it's a 1-year deal. If you overpay, whatever. If you look at
I feel like he also wouldn't accept that.
right, I mean,
'Cause
it's saying if he did,
No, I know, because I'm just saying, say that he gets $15 a year for 2 years.
Right.
He'd rather that extra $9 million, even if it's a little bit less AAV. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
but
yeah. But if you look at it from the Yankees' point of view, and Fangraphs does this thing where they have value based on the FWAR and a lot of other stats. In 2022, he was worth $21.2 million. In 2023, he was worth $28.5 million. In 2024, in a down year, he was worth a tick below 14.
And does that even include postseason?
No.
Yeah. So
So, a little surprising, but I mean, good for Torres because now he's probably gonna have a bigger market.
yeah, that was weird. And then the kind of last thing before we get into the plans was this whole Garrett Cole situation. I told our roommate Joe, this happened quite possibly I think this was the least likely outcome out of everything.
Yeah.
What happened? So for those that don't know, when Garrett Cole signed his contract back in 2020, technically 2019, but when he signed it, there was a clause that after the 5th year, is it 5th or 4th? After the 5th year.
21, 22, 23, 24.
Yeah, so after the 5th year, he had the option to opt out. The Yankees had a counter option, I guess you would call it, that pretty much said that they could void the opt-out at another year for $36 million. Garrett Cole, as everyone expected, opted out. The Yankees took it up until 4:30, and the deadline was 5 o'clock. And they announced that Garrett Cole did not want to opt out anymore, which was quite possibly the weirdest situation on the planet. The reason why is they said they were trying to figure out some sort of reconstruction or something like that, and it was essentially a bluff from Cole, and the Yankees called it. I think that for the Yankees financially, that was probably best case scenario. Maybe that's probably second best case scenario. Best case scenario would be a reconstructor.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I feel like is like way down like the line. Like out of possibilities, I feel like that would have been
I would have thought a reconstructor was more likely than this.
Yeah. I guess.
They said that I saw stuff saying there's no talks as of right now, but there's positive stuff there, if that makes sense.
There's
groundwork?
Yeah.
I guess you would call it.
There's an opening for extension talks down the road, or reconstruction talks, whatever you want to call it. I said this to you when it first happened, and I'm not saying I would do it, but I'm also not saying I wouldn't do it. Is that it wouldn't have been. I know you obviously completely disagree.
I completely disagree with this.
If they let him opt out.
Because my thing is Garrett Cole, you'd be getting him for 180. What pitcher are you getting that gives you at least similar production for less money, for like significantly less money?
I would say Burns. You can make the argument for Burns.
What were you saying the other night about Burns though?
Yeah, I don't like his outlook, but
that's the thing. Like Garrett Cole is the only guy that you could kind of that has a very strong track record of health. Obviously, he had this year, but this was the only year that you could almost, if you had to bank on a guy pitching 200 innings, I feel like Garrett Cole's the highest odds for that.
No, that's fair.
So he is the last kind of true workhorse that's healthy. I said this to you the other day that he is the last pitcher that's a guaranteed lock for the Hall of Fame that's closest to their prime.
I wouldn't call him a lock, but yeah. I say very good chance. I want to call him a lock.
I would call him a very near lock. He only needs like a couple more years.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
Because I think he's the type of guy that I think will pitch into his 40s.
I can see it.
So.
Yeah, but it's just the thing with, it was his forearm this year. It's
elbow.
It's elbow. Sorry. It's scary.
No, definitely. But I'm just saying, if he stays healthy, Hall of Famer.
Yeah. But the thing for me is that, and this is coming from nothing. This is me talking. I do feel like they're a little worried about his medicals. That's why they, didn't want to add the extra year.
I'm pretty sure Cashman said that. I'll try and find the quote, but
and B, they want to maybe try to reconstructure. Because you look from, and he's kind of, Cole's a pitcher, so he's going to change as it progresses, but his chases were down 2 years in a row now from 23 to 24. His whiff rate is down from 23 to 24. His strikeouts were down. His strikeout percentage was a tick down. He walked more guys. He got hit a little harder. It's just stuff like that. You could put it on the injuries and the half year he had, but I don't know. I still think it's probably the right idea to keep him around, obviously, especially for namesake and the team in general. But I don't think I would have killed the Yankees if they let him test free agency. Unless you're completely desperate, I don't know who else would be giving him the money that the Yankees are giving him.
I think someone definitely would have.
Right. A desperate team. But is he going to want to play on, say, who's desperate right now?
Well, you think of that because the way a good example I saw is Jacob deGrom had how many injuries, and look at the contract that he got.
I would call the Rangers desperate.
You'd call the Rangers desperate?
That was a desperate move.
But that's kind of the point, that a team is going to get desperate. Cole, I'm pretty sure, is younger than deGrom was when deGrom signed the contract.
I think they're around the same age.
Around the same age, a much better track record of health.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like deGrom also had the better track record as a pitcher. So you kind of have that potential way off.
I feel like when the health was that bad though,
Yeah, no,
and you
it's
had
fair.
so much.
I mean,
you know what
obviously,
I mean?
the contract has been a bust so far. 9 starts in 2 years, but I don't know. I just think the only team that would sign him to that much money would be a desperate team, and a desperate team is not one that's looking to win next year.
Mm.
That was really my biggest thing, but that can go on for hours. But
Yeah.
Cole's a Yankee. He's gonna remain
Well, no,
a
because
Yankee.
I had a counterpoint on that.
Go.
About the velo and all that stuff dipping. I feel like it's a thing of he's just learning to pitch differently, and he's been doing a lot better job. I know you said he's been getting hit a little bit harder,
A touch.
but I feel like that's really from like 2 or 3 starts.
I mean, even 23,
23
he was average hard hit
when he won the Cy Young.
barrel. Yeah, still.
Well, no,
It
because
has
like
nothing to do with that year. It's looking forward.
this year he did a very damn good job at limiting hard contact. Especially if you take out those how many ever starts, those like 3-4 starts when he first got back.
Yeah.
So I'm not that concerned. I'd be more concerned about the elbow than I would be about the stuff not being there.
I think it kind of goes hand in hand. If his elbow goes, his stuff goes.
Well, yeah,
Obviously.
obviously, but
Well, kind of like if it's deteriorating, then
Yeah.
that's just gonna affect the way he pitches. But again, this can go on for hours.
But then getting into our free agency kind of thingamabobbers.
Overview, outlook, preview, analysis, forecast. What else did I say? I think that's it.
But plan A. So, well, let me say this first off.
Set the groundwork.
So, I kind of wrote down a lot of the Yankees' needs, and kind of this was what I was focusing on. I got right field, left field, second base / third base, first baseman, and then 2 or 3 relief pitchers. They may get more, whatever. They're probably gonna trade or sign like a starter that's like a reclamation project, whatever. But I'm not gonna try and guess that one. But just something I wanted to clarify too. In these plans, I'm gonna also be putting in internal options. Just for example, like I'll spoil for left field for most of my plans. I had Jason Dominguez. Most of my plans.
Yeah.
But just kind of things of like that nature where I'm also utilizing internal guys. But last thing, the 2025 payroll. Oh, forgot to mention they declined the club option on Lou Trevino. Save them $5 million. The 2025 payroll comes out to be about $186 million before they make any moves at all. Plan A. Re-sign Juan Soto. A lot of the contracts I either did ballpark or there was an article in The Athletic where I kind of just like used their numbers, and if they were like ridiculous, I just didn't.
Tweak them.
I did 15,700 just to like throw a big number out there for argument's sake. That'd be about $46 million a year. Jason Dominguez in left field. That's not going to cost you anything. He's free arbitration.
700,000 or 750.
Now, I made this before the news about Gleyber's qualifying offer, so this is probably an overshoot. But Gleyber Torres for a 6,150, because I kind of use like the Simeon deal as a framework.
Yeah.
That'd be 25 a year. I'm gonna wait because I already told you this. I'm gonna wait on my first baseman for the viewer's sake. So then going into relievers, I have Tim Hill coming back.
Go.
I just put $5 million. I don't know how much.
Yeah,
it's gonna
whatever.
get, but
It's gonna get that range.
Ryan Borucki
Baricki.
at $3 million. I just threw that. He's a guy that's not really. He's a reclamation project, 100%.
Yeah.
But he is the definition of a Matt Blake reclamation project.
He's a 31-year-old lefty. Had time with the Pirates. I also liked him. I helped us, made us a little spreadsheet and kind of
That you did.
I tinkered with to help us look at some relievers that might be interesting. And of course, out of the how many is this? Out of the 62 relievers on this spreadsheet, we both hone in on one same guy.
Yeah. You look at a lot of the stuff, he had a 34.5% whiff percentage, 33.7 chase percentage, so he's going to get a lot of chases. Strikeouts were about league average, or about the pack average for the free agents, about 25.5. Hard hit rate, 33.3. And then ground ball rate 51.5. So on surface value, that looks like a solid Matt Blake reclamation project. But if you dig deeper, it's even better.
Oh no.
His pitch mix.
Oh, Justin's doing analysis. Oh god.
He threw 52.3% sliders, 24.7% sinkers. Who from the Pirates that didn't have the best walk percentage, that had a lot of ground balls that threw slider sinker, did they trade for and was able to turn into a good reliever? Oh, Clay Holmes is also a free agent, but I forgot to say that.
Clay Anthony Holmes. Clarence Holmes.
That is the type of guy that Matt Blake loves. The sinker slider, and I am not worried. I would love that so much. He had a 2.45 ERA in 2023. Don't really look at 2024 because he only pitched 11 innings because he had carpal tunnel. Which obviously a reliever reclamation project. There's going to be something that's wrong with them. That's the reason why they are a reclamation project.
And the best thing about him, in my eyes, I think you get him for a minor league deal.
Yeah, he's going to be cheap.
I don't think you have to give him a major league contract.
Kind of one of those deals where it's like minor league. If you make the majors, you get like whatever. But I didn't even like think about that. That's a really good point.
That's what I thought instantly. He'll be cheap but you know, a lot of this free agent relievers are a lot of big names, I'd say. So they're probably gonna work up a good chunk of change.
Here's a guy that I absolutely love. You may remember a couple of years ago that I love this guy, Scott Barlow.
Yes, I do remember that. The Barlow brothers.
The Barlow brothers. Yep. You look at kind of just his stuff. 95th percentile average exit velocity, 95th percentile whiff percentage, 84th in strikeout, 82nd barrel rate, 92 hard hit rate, 78 ground ball rate. My thing too, I believe because I don't have it up now, but he had about either 91 or 92 average fastball velo. The thing with Matt Blake too is you always see that like he brings these guys in and they just find like a couple extra miles an hour. You look at Clay Holmes, Luke Weaver, even a little bit of Tim Hill. He never threw that hard, but you look at a couple of those guys and their velo gained a tick or two under Matt Blake, especially relievers. Starters not so much, but so I think that's a perfect kind of. I think that is a perfect signing for the Yankees, Scott Barlow.
Yeah, I can see that definitely. It's only 31, so you
31.
If you really want to, you can even give him like a year and an option type of thing.
Oh, kind of the Luke Weaver deal that they did.
Exactly.
But now, my first baseman. People are not talking about him at all at first base. Oh,
that's right.
For reasons, granted, I will grant those reasons.
For
pretty fair.
Excellent reasons.
But he did play 2 games at first base last year. And if you give him an offseason telling him he's going to hit or he's going to be at first base the entire year and he gets to hit at Yankee Stadium, I mean, hell yeah, he's going to take that. Are you kidding me? I had the Yankees at first base signing Jock Peterson to a 3-year, $60 million contract for $20 a year. He had 34 home runs last year. In, but what was it, 400 at-bats? About that? 400 plate appearances?
In 449 plate appearances.
Yeah. All but 2 of those home runs were pulled. He is a dead pull hitter. Perfect for Yankee Stadium. You obviously have the great postseason track record. He did okay with the Braves. Nothing special. But, what?
He was really good with the Braves.
He had like a 650 OPS.
In the playoffs? Really?
Yeah.
Maybe he just had some big moments.
Yeah, no, that shocked me too. Like, let me look at it. Jock Peterson playoff. I'm like 95% sure it was like not nearly as good as I thought it was.
Huh. You learn something new every day.
680 OPS.
Damn.
But he had a 409 slugging.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he hit 205 with a 409 slugging. So when he hit the ball, it was gone. How
Yeah.
many home runs? 3 extra base hits. 3 home runs, yeah. 9 RBIs.
Yeah.
So when he was hitting the ball, he was roasting it. But regardless, great postseason numbers overall. It's not a long-term investment. He had a 908 OPS as well. The only issue that I have with this is defense is going to be good, first base, most likely, unless he just...
It's gonna be god. It's gonna be awful.
Unless he's just a first baseman and he didn't know it.
Yeah, he actually played a decent amount of first base with the Dodgers. 149 innings in 2019. He had a -7 outs above average. He made 6 errors in 20 games. And then he played 1 inning with the Cubs in 21 and 4 innings with the Giants in 23.
God, he was with the Cubs.
So his defenses could be god-awful. Even if you give him a full offseason, I don't think he's going to be a good first baseman. Defensive first baseman.
I'd agree. But he's hitting 40 home runs in 140 games.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
So...
My only other counterpoint, and I'm sorry if I'm going to steal your thunder, is who's playing against lefties.
John Birdie. Like, honestly, like, it's either John Birdie or you bring up a guy like Cale Durbin. Maybe, well, he'd be more of middle infield than first base. I think that is almost, you figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, because...
Like, frankly, I think you just figure that out.
Just to further the point, Jock had 32 at-bats against lefties
I don't want to know.
2024. He hit 219. Good for him.
Higher than I thought.
But
how many? What was the OPS? Like power numbers a lot.
749. So actually serviceable, but they obviously just didn't want him to face lefties.
That's surprisingly above league average for Jock.
Yeah. Yeah, but 2023 he had a 606, 22, 741. Maybe you could teach him how to hit lefties. 2021, 726. Maybe there's something to work with.
That's
there.
better than
I thought it was
what
going
we
to be.
had.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
So
but
WRC Plus is going to be like 2.
Yeah. But yeah, you add up all those numbers. Oh, wait, let me say this first, just about first base. They need a good first baseman. Because you look at, this is a tweet by Max Goodman, all the way back to 2016, the Yankees ranks offensively at first base. 30th in batting average, 28th in OPS, 26th in RBIs, 25th in WAR, tied for 23rd in WRC+, 13th in home runs because of the stadium, and you had a bunch of lefty first basemen. That is horrible.
Yeah.
They had the worst OPS of any team at first base by a margin this year. 29th WRC+, 27th in batting average. They hit 16 home runs. They had none since August. No home runs from probably the most important power position in baseball since August.
Jesus.
A 3-month sample size.
Jeez.
They just need a big power hitting guy at first base. That's just as simple as it is. You need a guy that could launch 30 home runs minimum. Frank, Anthony Rizzo, as great as he wasn't a power guy anymore.
Yeah.
He was more like a slap hitting, whatever. And that's not a knock on Rizzo. That's just where he's at in his career.
Yeah, definitely.
But you add up all those numbers, the payroll would be $291 million, which is less than it was this year.
Right.
I believe it was about 307 this year, 305, 307, something around those lines. So less payroll, and I feel a lot more confident going into the year with that. Because you're upgrading first base, I think, significantly. You're upgrading left field. How big of a upgrade? Who knows?
Yeah.
But
ideally, it's an upgrade.
Yeah. I would feel very confident in that. That's my plan A. Plan B. Juan Soto re-signed for $15,746. Jason Dominguez in left field. And I'll go to the relievers first. Kenyon Middleton. I have him on a $2 million deal. He didn't pitch last year. I think he had 5 rehab starts, but he didn't actually pitch in
the majors.
Major league thing. He needed surgery for right flexor tendon.
It's a little scary.
They loved his stuff. They traded for him at the
Yeah.
2023 deadline. If I find him on our trusty spreadsheet. Did I just not spell his name right?
I don't think he's on here.
He is.
Is he?
He is, yeah. This is based off his 2023 numbers. He had
No,
a
he is.
36% whiff percentage, 56.5 ground ball rate, 33% chase percentage, 30% strikeout percentage, 31 hard hit rate. Barrel rate, little high at 8.1, but they like his stuff. They traded for him, and for whatever reason, they just cheaped out and didn't sign him in the offseason.
Yeah.
He was the guy that was kind of mad they didn't sign. It didn't really make sense that they didn't, but I could definitely see him as a guy that kind of like a sneaky ad. Let me just say this about relievers. I'm about to eat or like put my foot in my mouth when I say this, but I try to just pick a bunch of different guys just because how they mix and match them,
Yeah.
who knows? But I kind of just wanted to highlight a couple of guys. That being said, Ryan Borucki and Scott Varlow are also in this plan.
There is an excellent chance that the relievers we named this entire week
Not a single
are just
one of them.
not signed.
Yeah.
Well, by the teams, obviously.
Yeah.
They'll be signed. Just
Yeah. And then I have this as second/third base because I don't know where he would play. A guy that I am very high on, and I believe this is the only trade I made.
okay.
Jonathan India.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to cost much, both money and prospect capital wise, because the Reds have like 17 second basemen, call it,
Yeah.
maybe 19. They have way too many second basemen. You kind of saw he was getting like edged out of Cincinnati, and yeah, I love a guy like Jonathan India. I don't even think it'll cost you a top 10 prospect. Maybe 9.
He has 2 years. He'll have 2 years of control.
But you're not giving up a blue chip prospect. That's kind of my point.
Probably not.
Maybe like your 7th prospect.
Yeah.
7th, 8th prospect. But you're not going to be giving up that much in a deal for Jonathan India.
Jeez, he really cooled off.
He did.
Yeah, he finished with slugging under 400, on base hovering around 350.
I'd take that on base though.
Yeah, 108 WRC plus.
I'm fine with that. He's only going to cost you $5 million. This was a lot more of a fiscally conservative approach compared to
Yeah.
the other one. And
With
then
major upside. Let me just put that out
major
there, yeah.
upside. You're not really trading that much. And then for first base, I have them signing Christian Walker to I just threw out numbers, $375 deal for 25 a year.
25 a year.
What do you think he gets?
More towards 20. I'm looking like a 360.
Well, I just threw out
Yeah.
numbers. Like, numbers aren't going to be perfect. But
Yeah. I love Christian Walker. I got his jersey back in my room. He's an excellent first baseman, but he is on the older side, so that's the one concern. And you look at the first base market, it's Pete Alonso, which he has his own question marks. Drop off. Christian Walker, he has his own question marks. Carlos Santana,
didn't he have a weirdly good year this year?
he's a glorified platoon guy,
Okay.
but
He's a switch hitter.
Yeah, to just to the point, it's not a great market for first baseman. So one, if not both of these guys are probably going to be overpaid.
Yeah.
That's like the one concern. But production wise, he's had an over 800 OPS for the past 3 years. He's hit over 30 home runs twice, only not this year, but he also missed time this year. So
Yeah, just to add to your point, elite defender at first base.
yeah,
One of the best defensive first basemen in baseball. He roasts the ball, just hits the ball hard, hits it for power. As I mentioned, the Yankees have absolutely god-awful first base numbers since 2016, so they need that big power bat. A 136 WRC plus in high leverage last year, 122 with runners scoring position. And he does have a reverse split, so he does hit righties better than lefties. That was
really,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think he's a tick above league average in his career, like about 108, something along those lines. But yeah, that's still a guy that if the Yankees sign Christian Walker, you are over the moon that they signed him.
Yeah.
Anything on that?
No, I really like Christian Walker. I think the other
Well, I
thing
was saying
too.
for the lefty. I thought you were looking for that.
Yeah. 2024 reverse splits. 2023, not so much or at all. 2022, not at all either.
I think I just looked at 2024, but
Yeah, I think 2022 is when he really kind of found his footing. So if we look from 2022 onwards, he does hit lefties better, but still hits righties at a good clip.
no. It was weird that he got claimed off waivers 3 times in a year.
Yeah, I mean, he was not good.
Yeah. But
So good for him. I mean, he really turned his career around, so it's pretty cool for him.
yeah. Plan C. I want you to guess the first 2 guys.
Juan Soto.
Yes. Oh wait, I never mentioned the payroll for that year would be $274 million. But
let me guess. Juan Soto and Christian Walker.
No. Jason Dominguez.
Oh, well, yeah. Duh.
Then this is a it's an interesting one, I think, for the Yankees.
Okay.
Especially because you'd be playing him out of position, but he is a utility guy.
Oh boy.
Ha-Seong Kim. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
To a 1-year, $12 million deal, kind of like a prove-it deal. I don't know if he's going to get a long-term or a short-term deal.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Especially because he had the shoulder surgery in September. So again, this is a prove-it deal for him. 100% on that end. He has very good bat-to-ball skills. Doesn't have power. I'm not going to claim he has power at all.
Yeah, his career high was 17.
Yeah, but you look at it, 38% chase percentage, 92% whiff percentage, 81% strikeout percentage, 96th percentile in walk percentage, 38 stolen bases in 2023. He has in 2024, had a 110 WRC plus against lefties. In his career, he has a 122. So,
You're getting him to play first or second?
Second.
Okay.
Second or third, whichever do you want to...
That's what I figured. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, just for him, Jonathan India, him and Jonathan India, I don't know if they're playing third or second, but it's just one of those 2 positions.
Yep. Okay.
He had a 155 WRC plus in high leverage this year, 129 with runners scoring position. So, great guy with runners scoring position, hits lefties above average, pretty solid hitter against lefties. Going to be cheap, high bat-to-ball skills. Again, this is a prove-it deal. It's just kind of someone I want to go a little bit different direction with this.
Yeah.
Kind of a guy that's under the radar that I wanted to mention. Then my last hitter. I love this guy. I've loved him since 2017. Paul Goldschmidt.
Yep.
He had the overall numbers weren't good. In the second half last year, he had an 800 OPS which went to a 120 WRC plus. This year, in a year that he wasn't that good, he had a 134 WRC plus against lefties. A 168 in his career. Granted, he's not the same hitter he used to be. So you can't just say like, oh, it's going to get back up to 168. I'm not saying that. You're happy if it gets back up to 150. You're more than happy. But I have him on a 1-year, $15 million deal. That may be overshooting it, but I think he will get a good amount of money just based off namesake alone.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that I had him on here when you said the point. I would probably argue he's the third best first baseman.
I also kind of forgot about him. Yeah.
He's 38 years old, so he is old, but I think he still has stuff left in the tank.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the under the hood stuff is not terrible.
Yeah.
Expected slugging, he slugged 414. Expected slugging was 464. Hard hit percentage is 92nd percentile. Barrel percentage is 73rd percentile. Average exit velocity is 82. So he's still hitting the ball very well. I wonder how the bat speed has been tracking. That's one thing they started recording this year. So I wish I could see how it was in years past to kind of see where he's.
What percentile was he
digressed.
this year?
60th.
Okay.
Not bad. But he chased a lot. He whiffed a lot. He struck out a decent amount. And for Paul Goldschmidt, he was an average defender at first.
Interesting. Because he's a guy that you expect to be very
Above
good.
Average.
I'd say very good.
Yeah. In 2022, when he won MVP, he was god-awful at first base.
Interesting.
-5 outs above average.
Interesting. But he's a guy, I'm curious how much of those stats would be better if he wasn't on the Cardinals. Because they were, like, competitive, but they weren't,
No,
like...
they weren't.
that. But there were points where they were a little competitive.
Yeah, I'll give you
but
that.
That's kind of what I mean. There
I'll
were
give you that.
points.
Yeah.
But overall, they weren't. So I'm curious, you put him on the Yankees in the pinstripes. He's playing for something. I think that just, obviously, I don't know him personally, but just based off what I've seen, he's a competitor. He rises up in the big moments. I would love to see how he does when he's actually playing in a season that matters.
With something to play for.
So that's a guy that I would absolutely love if they signed, especially because it's not going to be a long-term commitment. But then moving on to the relievers, I have them bringing back Tim Hill, $5 million. I have them bringing in Jose Leclerc. Getting up his stuff right now. In 2024, he had a 36% whiff percentage, which is awesome. 29.8 chase percentage, 30.9 strikeout percentage, 30.7 hard hit, 7.4% barrel percentage. But then I think the only reason they maybe wouldn't is the ground ball rate. It's about average, a little bit below at 37.4. But he's a guy that can miss bats. Nasty stuff. What do I have him as for the contract? I just put down $5 million. That's probably underselling it by a decent bit, but
Nah, relievers are so finicky.
Yeah,
It's hard to say.
I kind of went for a approach of just the overall number being probably closer to what it would be than each individual contract, because the last reliever that I have the Yankees getting is Kirby Yates, bringing him back.
Interesting.
You look at Kirby Yates, a lot of the underlying stuff is pretty good. 33.6 whiff percentage, 32.8 chase percentage, 35.9 strikeout percentage, 33 hard hit percentage, 4.1 barrel, 45.5 ground ball rate.
I mean, he was one of the best relievers last year.
Yeah,
in
so
baseball.
He's a guy the Yankees are familiar with. He was a Yankee a while ago, like 2016, 2017. So I would like a reunion with Kirby Yates. I think that would be kind of I don't want to say underrated move, but I think it would be definitely a very solid move. I just put 1 year, $10 million.
That's underselling it.
Underselling it?
Someone's going to give him 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regardless.
A sub 1.5 ERA, a sub 0.9 whip, someone's going to pony up.
Get rid of the years. Do you think the AAV is fine?
Probably.
That's more what I was concerned about than years.
Yeah.
I was more just for like adding up how much money it would cost for this year. So you add up all that, it would be $279 million payroll. Then my plan D, I want to take a sip of water.
Oh boy.
Plan D is
Blow up the team.
Is my kind of doomsday. It's if the Yankees don't re-sign Juan Soto, which I truly believe they will sign Juan Soto. I think it's between them and the Mets, and I think the Mets have too many holes to fill.
I guess say the same about the Yankees.
Regardless, that's topic for another day.
I disproved your point. Okay.
Well, do you want to get into this now?
We could.
I mean, no. I think it's a discussion for another day.
Okay.
But this is the no Juan Soto deal. I spent money. I'll just say it now, the payroll's at $310 million after this.
Rage spend.
All on hitters.
All on hitters?
There's 3 relievers, with the relievers out up to $20 million.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Interesting.
First off, your third baseman, Alex Bregman. I'm giving a 7-year deal at $189. That's $27 a year. First base, you're getting Christian Walker, $375, $25 a year. Which do I go for first? Because both of these may be interesting. Just say one or two.
Two.
Teoscar Hernandez to go in left field. $375, $25 a year. Willie Adames to either play shortstop or second base. However you want to play it.
You'd move Volpe off shortstop?
However they want to. I don't think they would, but I'm just saying you have.
Okay.
He could play either. I think they keep Volpe at shortstop. But I have him signed to a 162 deal, $27 a year. That's probably overselling it a little bit.
27 a year?
Maybe a little bit.
I could see it.
Like I said, this was the
rage
don't get
spend.
Soto. We're saying fuck it. Here's the checkbook. So my thing that I thought a lot of people aren't talking about, as you may notice, I signed 3 infielders. Then you have Volpe. So Jazz isn't going to play in the infield. I have him moving to center and then Judge to right field.
Love it.
That's why I said, like...
This is another discussion for another day. I think you have to move Judge off center field. So I would argue
you may have another year.
I would disagree. He's a below-average center fielder, and just for injury's sake, I would move him as quickly as you can.
Oh, no, I would too.
If you can move him next year, I would.
I'm just saying you may be able to stretch. Like, I don't like risking it. I don't like it either. Yeah. But I think that's how the Yankees may see it.
Yeah.
But
I just don't understand because, as a small tangent, but Jazz is an excellent center fielder. He's actually like really good defensively. I understand last year the way the outfield was constructed, it was kind of hard to get Jazz in center.
You had to.
Right. But yeah, Jazz is an excellent center fielder, so I don't understand how. I think it's a very, very good point that they can easily go with Jazz as their center fielder next year.
Yeah. I think the only thing with putting Jazz in center is if you re-sign Soto,
yeah, then it's
one of him or Judge has to play first.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're doing, how you're going to do that. I'd probably say Judge just because of size and health, but one of them has to play first base.
Yeah.
That's just what it comes down to. But yeah, like that was the one that I was telling you the other day that I got creative and I feel like no one's talking about it.
Yeah.
That Jazz legitimately could play center field for the Yankees.
Yep.
Then I have them bringing back Tommy Kahnle. I have them signing Kirby Yates in this one. And then for the last reliever that I have, just to throw his name out there, AJ Minter.
Oh, interesting. AJ.
Yeah. So his numbers overall are kind of just average.
Meh.
There's nothing really that special about him, but I could definitely see the Yankees doing like a namesake type thing, because he had some pretty good years. So, nothing. He's above average in kind of everything, but he's not really standing out in anything.
He's probably like a good 6th, 7th inning option.
Yeah. So I would not hate them getting him just to see kind of how the cookie crumbles with him. And like I said earlier, add all that up, $310 million payroll. Those are my 4 plans. Just as a little recap. Plan A, you got Juan Soto in right, Jason Dominguez in left, Gleyber Torres at second base, Jock Peterson first base, Tim Hill, Ryan Borucki, Scott Barlow. That'd put your payroll at $291 million. Plan B, Juan Soto, Christian Walker, Jonathan India, Jason Dominguez, Kenny Middleton, Ryan Borucki, Scott Barlow, $274 million payroll. Plan C, Juan Soto, Jason Dominguez, Ha-Sung Kim, Paul Goldschmidt, Tim Hill, Jose Leclerc, Kirby Yates, $279 million. Plan D, the fuck it, we spend money. Alex Bregman at third, Christian Walker at first, Willie Adames at short second, however you want to play it. Teoscar in left, move the Jazz to center, Judge to right field. Tommy Kahnle, Kirby Yates, AJ Minter, put the payroll at $310 million. Out of those 4 plans, which do you like the best?
Plan D, because it means Juan Soto's not on the Yankees. For the Yankees,
because I go back and forth.
I'd probably say Plan B. I don't think Jock is going to play first. I also don't think he's going to be a good first baseman. Christian Walker, I feel like you're going to overpay a little, but I still think he's going to be very good.
Take out money. Take out contracts. Just that, like, because those numbers were just eyeball numbers. They weren't anything special.
I would say Plan B. Plan B is probably my favorite.
I go back and forth just because the idea of Jock Peterson playing 81 games at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I just...
That's my only...
Absolutely. I mean, you'd love that. I don't think he's going to play first base.
He may hit 45 home runs.
Maybe. I just don't think he's going to play first base.
I'd agree with you. I don't think he's going to be the best first baseman.
Forget about being. I don't think he's going to want to.
That's fair. Narratives.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I had to make a plan. Get creative. Content.
Yeah, no,
all
it's
that.
definitely creative. That's certainly a way you could put it.
I mean,
That's a word.
I mean, at the same time, the Yankees traded for Jazz Chisholm and played him at third. He's never played third before.
Yeah,
At least I'm just saying, at least Jock Peterson has played first before. Not well, but at least he's played first before.
almost 6 years ago. By the time the season starts,
And this year.
barely.
Hey,
And at
2
least
games.
Jazz is athletic.
Hey!
Jock is a big boy.
Don't knock the dad bod that went a lot further than a dad bod.
He did not play a single game in the field last year.
He did not.
No,
I saw people saying that he played 2 games at first last year.
So 2024 games played 117, DH 117.
Jesus Christ.
That's why I say Plan B. And plus, you're shoring up the defense all around with Christian Walker there at first, who just won his second straight Gold Glove, something like that. He's very good defensively.
Yeah, definitely.
Big man.
I would not hate either plan though. Just because of the offense, you need that offensive threat at first base.
Yeah.
Obviously, Christian Walker's gonna be a much more well-rounded player,
For sure.
but I don't hate either. I don't even hate Plan C. Is like a very kind of
Sneaky.
he has like a sneaky. Then Plan D, no,
Is unrealistic.
for multiple reasons because Juan Soto's gonna come back. But
Sure. Now, real quick, I hope I'm not stealing your thunder. You don't see a world where the Yankees pursue Pete Alonso.
I mean, they could. I just don't think they want to put that much money long term to a first baseman.
That's fair.
Especially one that's coming off would you say this worst year in his career?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
his worst.
that's not. I don't think that's a hot take. That's
Like his worst year in his career.
quite possibly true.
Which would be much better than any Yankees first baseman.
That is true. You did want 30 home runs, and he'll give you 30.
I don't know. I just don't see it happening.
Okay.
Because I think they do put that big money into Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say this. Unless they completely shock the world, if they signed Juan Soto, I don't see them signing a guy to a longer than 5-year deal except maybe Glaber.
Right. Okay. That's fair.
So I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know that, but
Yeah.
just because.
That's fair.
And it is worth noting they do have. You're getting to the point where the Stanton contract's going to be very manageable.
Yeah.
I believe it's after this year you're only paying about like $10 million on the Stanton contract, 10, 15. So it's going to be significantly less on the payroll if they can figure something out with Garrett Cole, spread that money out more. So I think they're in a much better spot financially than people kind of realize. That being said, you could very easily ruin that spot if you sign $1 million long-term contracts. The only reason why I has Soto at a 15-year deal is I don't think you could find, I don't think you cannot find a more sure thing than Juan Soto, especially for the level of talent that you're getting. That he was a top 3 hitter in baseball this year, and he is only 20. He just turned 26 years old. Yeah.
To your point about Stan's contract, next year he makes 32, but then after that it goes down to 19.
2025.
Yeah.
Okay.
2026, 19 a year. 2027, 15 a year.
Yeah. So it gets a lot more manageable.
Yeah.
So
well, actually, the luxury tax is the same, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's because contract bullshit.
Yeah. Those are my off-season plans. I do want to note, in 2022, I nailed the Rizzo and Judge contracts on the dot.
You did.
I had 390 for Judge and 240 for Rizzo. They were both on the dot. That.
Yeah.
So that is definitely worth noting.
So you don't think they go after any starting pitcher?
I think that they may go after like a 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I'll be frank. I don't really think it's going to make that much of a difference because you have 6 starters right now.
Yeah.
I could see a world where they maybe trade Stroman.
I was gonna say like Heel or something or Nestor.
Maybe. Well, just because Mark Stroman had 0 postseason innings. So it's just...
I don't understand why they signed to that deal, and I don't understand why they gave him that much money. The further we go from it, the worse it looks. I think he's making like $25 a year.
No. I think it was 236, 238.
Oh, you're right. 18. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know where he got 25 from, but still.
Just because of how bad the pitching market was.
Yeah, I know. Almost
But-
$20 million from Marcus Stroman.
I wouldn't hate it. Because we talked about this. I think his defense definitely would trade him
Yeah.
a lot, like significantly more than other guys. But I just think that you also have so much depth in the minors,
Yeah.
too. In
That's fair.
Chase Hampton, Clayton Beater, Yanders Gomez. There's a guy I'm missing. Let me look at this. Yankees pitching. There's a guy that I'm missing. It's
Warren.
gonna kill me. Will Warren. I feel like
Poteet
it's
is still under contract.
Cody Poteet. You have a lot of guys in the minors that they really do like. Brock Selvage, he's probably more like a 2026 guy, but I know that they really like him. Yeah, I just think that you have a lot of talent in the farm system that I could see them trading that talent for a starter, but I don't really think it's that big of a talking point because I don't see them going for a big starter.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Like, I don't see them bringing back Severino. I don't see them signing Manaea. I don't see them going after a Burns or a Snell.
Yeah.
Maybe. I just don't think that they're... Because Snell's going to get a long-term deal, you would think.
I don't think so.
Well, long-term, I mean like 4 or 5.
Oh, maybe.
And I don't see them adding on.
Long-term starting.
Yeah, long-term, like...
That's fair.
I don't
fair.
see them adding a 4 or 5 year deal on Blake Snell. So
Yeah,
I just...
probably like a 1 or 2 at most.
And I don't
somewhere.
think he takes that.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely
So-
not. I'm just saying like a 1-2 year to somebody else.
Yeah. Maybe like a trade. I don't know. I don't see them signing a Flaherty. I don't...
Yeah. Maybe they get like a Michael Lorenzen, making like a swingman or something. I don't know.
That's your hitter against lefties.
Yeah.
But...
There you go. That's your first face against lefties.
Seriously. But yeah, that's all I have overall. I don't think a starter's that realistic for the Yankees,
Yeah.
especially... I don't see them spending more than $35 million on pitching
Yeah. In total.
in total, including relievers. I don't see them spending that much on
Yeah. I mean,
pitching.
there's really no need. I was just curious on your thoughts.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, checks out. Makes sense.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
If you have anything else you want to say.
It's going to be very interesting. Obviously, the Juan Soto sweepstakes rules all. That's going to really change.
That's going to open the
both
floodgates for the
teams.
market.
Yeah, but wherever he goes is going to change both teams' perspectives. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting. You know, free agency just started, so there's going to be rumors galore, I'm sure, and the guys that we didn't even mention that they're going to be interested in, yada, yada, yada. But that's all you got.
That's all I got.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. As always, remember to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, follow us on Apple Podcasts.
We are back. We are so back.
Don't forget, we are now on Apple Podcasts officially. So that's YouTube, where you can watch us. That's Spotify, where you can listen. That's Apple Podcasts, where you can listen. So you don't have an excuse to not listen. But thank you guys again. You know, off-season's just starting. We're going to do our thing, bring you all the content you love and adore from us and all of our good and bad takes. But we're just getting started. It's going to be a long winter, hopefully a fun winter. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.